Good evening, afternoon or morning. Movie Cat is at the microphone. Today I will tell you a story about what happens when someone procrastinates on dream fulfilling for a very long time. For your attention, a cowboy drama. Brokeback Mountain. United States of America, Wyoming, 1963. Young boys, Annis Delmar and Jack Twist, who grew up on poor ranches in different parts of the state, meet when they get seasonal work. They are hired to herd sheep on the high green slopes near Brokeback Mountain, far from inhabited places. Annis is reserved and few in words, keeps his emotions deep inside himself, knows how to cook and is an excellent shooter. Jack is talkative, open, emotional and dreams of mastering rodeo professionally. The work is monotonous. The guys spend a lot of time in the evenings drinking whiskey by the fire and sharing plans for the future. Jack dreams of his own ranch, and Annis thinks about marrying his girlfriend Alma when he gets home. Once a week at noon, Annis goes to the bridge to collect food supplies from the courier. Once, on the way back, he runs into a bear and his horses run away, losing their luggage. Already late in the evening, having caught the horses, Annis returns to the camp, although he managed to find only beans from the provisions, which the boys had already had time to get tired of. Annis rejects Jack's offer to kill one sheep for a variety of diet and shoots a moose instead. Another evening by the fire, Jack, who is passionate about rodeo, says that his father was a legend in the business, but kept professional secrets so much that he did not even teach his son anything. Annis does not particularly understand rodeo because it is a big risk to health and life. The next night, after drinking a considerable amount of whiskey, hiding from the cold in the same tent, they sleep with each other. Annis is very worried about it the next day. Annis is afraid of someone might find out about this, but Jack replies that it is no one's business. This is how their romance begins. Someday the owner of the sheep comes to them to check how things are going. Through binoculars, he sees shirtless boys roaming on the grass. The employer conveys a message to Jack Twist that his uncle is dying of cancer, but he does not say about what he saw a little earlier, probably in order not to look for new shepherds in the height of the season. On his last day at work, Annis is depressed, probably because of the soon breakup. Jack tries to cheer him up, but his friend gets angry and lashes out at Twist. After a fight, the boys lead the sheep to the owner. After finishing work in the summer, they go their separate ways. As Jack disappears around the corner, Annis can't hold back the tears. In the fall, Delmar marries Alma, to whom he was engaged. He tries to organize his life as best he can. He builds the roads, and in the evenings he goes to the cinema with Alma. Before the start of the new season, Jack Twist comes to the owner of the sheep, hoping to get a job on the Brokeback Mountain again. But the main thing is to meet Annis here. The employer says he won't pay the boys to have an affair while the sheep wander everywhere, and he chases Jack away. Annis works on a ranch and 2 daughters are born to him. His wife suggests that they move to the city and rent an apartment there, so that it would not be so boring and the children would have someone to play with. Annis avoids answering. Meanwhile, Jack moves to Texas to pursue his rodeo dream. With each show he gets better and better, and at one of them he meets a horse rider and the daughter of a wealthy industrialist, Lauren Newsom. Jack marries her, they have a son. Lauren's parents are unhappy with this marriage. Her father openly despises Jack and constantly humiliates him. After 4 years of living far from each other, Annis receives a card from Jack, suggesting that they meet again. After Annis's quick reply by mail, Jack arrives immediately. Annis, who was waiting for Twist with impatience, does not hold back his feelings and kisses Jack right on the porch. His wife sees it from the window and is not at all pleased with such a turn. The boys meet and discover that their mutual love is no less strong than before. The boys go fishing in the mountains, away from people. Jack dreams of living together with Annis on their ranch, but Delmar dismisses it as wishful thinking, reminding him that they both already have families. Annis adds, if anyone finds out that they live together, they will simply be killed. He remembers his childhood, when with the active participation of Annis' father, a man, their neighbor, who lived with another man, was extremely brutally killed. Annis loves his young daughters and sees no way out of this difficult situation, offering to leave everything as it is for now, that is, to meet secretly, occasionally and far from the people. That's what they do, several times a year. Jack comes and the boys go fishing in the mountains. Anis is burdened by constant family obligations. Someday he can't stand it and offers Oma a divorce. Oma agrees, but even after the marriage is dissolved, Anis refuses to leave the town where his children live. Years pass and one day Delmar celebrates Thanksgiving with his grown daughters, his ex-wife and her new boyfriend. After the holiday, Oma tells Anis that during his trips with Jack, she put notes in the fishing net, which she later found herself, as well as the price tag on the net itself. Jack's marriage goes a little better. In his father-in-law's business, Twist sells agricultural machinery, and Lauren is responsible for accounting. It always seems to Anis that everyone around him knows about his orientation, and under the gaze of those around him, Delmar feels as if he is naked. Jack again offers the two of them to run away and live together, but Anis angrily rejects this, citing the fact that Oma will not give him the daughters. After some time, the charming waitress, Casey, meets Delmar at the bar. They start dating and Anis even introduces her to one of his daughters. When the father drives his daughter home, she asks to live with him, but Anis refuses, citing that he is used to living alone. Deprived of the opportunity to live together or announce their relationship, Anis and Jack are forced to settle for rare forays into the mountains to enjoy the freedom of their feelings. These meetings are largely fueled by nostalgia for their first season of work near Brokeback Mountain. Their infrequent meetings continue for 20 years. The feelings are still strong, and Jack lives in hope that someday the moment will come when they can live together. Jack says he often misses Anis so much that he just can't stand it. However, Anis has been finding reasons not to live together all these years. At first it was the wife, after the divorce, the daughters, and when they grew up, he fears a public condemnation. A few months after their last, very moving and at the same time tense meeting, Anis learns of Jack's death. The card he sent Jack proposing a new meeting is returned marked "Recipient is deceased." In a difficult phone conversation, Jack's wife, Lauren, tells Anis the official version of Jack's death, an accident. However, he sees his own version of events. Jack was beaten to death by homophobes. He also learns from Lauren that Jack wished his ashes to be scattered on the Brokeback Mountain, the only place where he was happy. Anis visits Jack's parents. The father refuses Anis to fulfill his son's last will. Instead, he insists on burying the remains in the family cemetery. In the closet in Jack's bedroom, Anis finds two old shirts on a hanger, one on top of the other, the sleeves of the lower one tucked into the sleeves of the upper one. The same shirts worn by Jack and Anis on their last day at Brokeback Mountain, with blood on the sleeves after a fight between the friends in August 1963. With his parents' permission, Anis takes these shirts with him. They associate his memory with the happy days of youth and love that they shared with Jack on Brokeback Mountain. Several years pass. A daughter comes to Anis, who lives alone in a trailer, and notices that there is not enough furniture here. Anis replies that when you have no things, you have nothing to lose. That says a lot about Delmar's worldview, living in a constant fear of loss. In order to avoid those losses, he kept his wife, children and of course Jack at a distance. His daughter Oma announces her engagement. After inviting him to the upcoming wedding, Oma also asks for his blessing. Anis asks if her fiancé loves her, and after an affirmative answer, blesses the marriage and promises to be at the wedding. After Oma leaves, Anis opens his closet where he keeps Jack's denim shirt tucked inside his own and attached a Brokeback Mountain postcard. He looks at the things with tears in his eyes, and before closing the closet, he says, "Jack, I swear." Thank you for watching. Now I'm looking for your favorite genre, so if you like the retelling of the cowboy drama Brokeback Mountain, please write about it in the comments. This will help me select similar films for future retellings.